What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. This view is weird. In this one, I'm going to be continuing to show you how to make Indigo Park Chapter 1 in Minecraft. This is part 7, and in this one, we're going to be finishing off this little area here, except for that pixel art. I forgot about that one. And we're also going to be laying out these hallways here. Hopefully, I remember that pixel art in the next part. Then I'm going to just leave in this world staring at it. That sounds like a good plan. Anyway, that's all. So with that being said, enjoy the tutorial, and I will catch you on the flip side. So this part's going to start with just most of what we can do that is normal, and then we're going to end up kind of switching off to not as much block for the dirt and just whatever, the rocks and stuff. But I'll do some of those block for block again, these specific details that I think are important, kind of as I did in the gift shop. Anyway, that's enough rambling. You want to start by getting out the following. You want spruce planks, spruce slabs, spruce stairs, spruce fence. Bone meal might not be a bad idea. Mud brick walls and oak leaves. We do still have 2 inventory slots, but I don't think... Actually, no, we'll get out vines. Why not? And maybe moss blocks. Sure, I'm okay with that. That works. Starting from the little, like, square kind of at the front here, I want to make the statue. So from the front left moss block, you want to extend up with a spruce plank, spruce stair facing right, and then another spruce plank. That top spruce plank I'll extend right with a spruce fence, right with another plank, and then right with another fence. This plank I will bring down by 2 and up with an upside down stair facing forward. That'll be annoying to place. I just tried to bone meal a fence. That worked really well. Upside down slab above that stair. Cool. From this spruce stair on the left, the first one we placed, to the left of it, you'll place a spruce slab. And then left of that, you'd want an upside down slab that is kind of down, or up diagonally, rather, to the left. And then on top of that, just another slab. The statue of Rambly and the owner guy that I can't remember the name of, holding hands. Next thing I'm going to do is the rooted dirt here on the right. Again, same thing as we've done a couple times. If you just place a moss block in place of rooted dirt and continually bone meal the area, removing any flowering azalea that sprout, you can then go back in with a slash fill to replace the moss back to rooted dirt. Dirt with roots, replace moss, and that will give you this. Cool. For the actual moss here, I didn't do anything with the moss in the statue because it's like 4 whole blocks that are actually usable. But for this back area, I will kind of just, you know, bone meal it sporadically a little bit, and again, removing the flowering azaleas. Get something like that. There are a couple custom trees here. One of which is on the left side. The inner corner sandstone wall, this guy right here, you will replace with a mud brick wall and then extend it up an additional 3. I will surround that top wall in oak leaves, kind of like this. And I'll be a little bit vague with this because, again, I don't think the trees are great here, but this left leaf I'll bring down and back, and then I will kind of just bring these leaves to the right a little bit, so maybe like that. And then if I just copy that row one more time, making sure I place a leaf over the gap, and I also place one over the gap in the left here, and then bring this one forward. So I have essentially like a normal oak tree shape, kind of, just a little bit smaller. And then I will almost bring up the full center 2x2. I'll just remove or not have that back left one. That's kind of what I have for tree 1. For tree 2, I will take this row of 5 sandstone walls. Not the furthest left one, but one to the right, and I'll count back by 4. And I will place, again, 4 mud brick walls extending up. Same thing, surrounding this top wall in leaves, and I will bring them, or I'll kind of square it off on the front side here, and also extend to the right and forward from this corner. And then I will have a kind of almost square on top of this. What is it, like that? And then I'll have an additional block on the right, maybe. So not really a square. It's whatever that shape is. And then I'll bring up an additional. Is it there or is it 1 over? I think it's actually 1 over. Yeah, it'd be here. That's tree number 2. And then there's only one more tree, which is pretty much same position as that first one we made. Just 1 block to the left, so just to the left of this wall. I will place 4 mud brick walls extending up here. Again, with the leaves around each side. I will square off the whole thing, but the back left corner. I'll bring this middle left leaf back, or I guess left and back. And then I will place a kind of diamond on top of this with an additional block on the corner, and then bring, or the back left corner, and then bring that top leaf up again. Something like that. Outside of the outermost trees, you're going to want kind of vines going... Well, they're at different distance. On the right side, it actually goes a little inside as well. Like, I'll have a couple vines here off of the top oak planks only. But to the right, it'll go until you are just in line with the beginning of this kind of doorway, like so. This, I use a mixture of oak leaves and vines to kind of give more of a bushy vibe. Like in certain areas, like maybe I'll do this or something. You can also place the vines on the leaves, and I think it looks pretty cool. But just, what, that does that? Okay, whatever. Just something like that, maybe. Just to give it some more depth. And then for the other side, it starts just a little bit to the left of this tree, like maybe a blocker way. And it'll end at the, just before the end of the second doorway. So again, I'll maybe start with the leaves here just because... And I'll just add vines around. Go like 1 to 4 down, maybe. Maybe here I'll go down a little bit further and go off the inside of the door, since that's kind of how I have it on the original. Something like that, maybe. You can clear your inventory, and we can start with the brick wall now. Get out the following for it. Bricks, who would have thought, right? Warp slabs. Warped trapdoors. Warped fence. Black concrete. Crimson slabs. And birch slabs. And after this, we'll do the logo, assuming I don't forget again. From the furthest left block... Well, actually, let's not take that. Let's take, in line with this furthest left tree, this row of mud bricks, right here. You want to trace it up, and from this birch slab, count to the right by 1 and place a brick behind this one. And you should do the same on the other side. I guess what you can actually do, though, is just take the tree trunk, this furthest right guy, and just in line with it, brick there. And then I'll connect these bricks together. Extend either side brick back by 2. And then from there, both bricks will go all the way out until they're in line with the end birch slab. So we'll go all the way, and I will stop right there. Cool. And then we'll work from the inside out and kind of do this symmetrically because there's a lot of gap on the outside. You'll just kind of fill in front of those rows of brick with birch slabs into the other birch slabs. Cool. Hopefully everyone is having a good day or night. I am for the most part. What part number is this? I forgot again. 7. Got it. You want to... On top of this brick, we're going to start from the kind of... either front corner here, these guys, and work our way inward to start. You'll go in on either side with 3 bricks. That is not the right spot. There we go. You'll then place 3 warp slabs, and then just the rest of the center will be bricks. What is that, number 9, if you want it? I will bring the kind of side bricks back by 2, just here. And then from there, these bricks will extend out by 4 with bricks. 3 with warped slabs. Then an additional 6 with bricks. 3 with warp slabs, and the rest will be bricks. Technically, the middle warp slab doesn't actually need to be there. But we'll get to that in a sec. Not just yet. Well, not actually for a minute, but you'll see. From this point, you can extend each brick up by an additional 6 rows. And you can also connect those top rows together over top of the gaps that we have. Cool. And that'll get us most of the wall filled in, practically. Which is cool. These windows are strange. I tried my best to make them accurate as far as the, like, lines and framing and stuff. It's always hard to do. But, as per usual, the larger the spacing, the better. Excellent, too, for being large, I guess. It is really a lot easier to build at a larger scale, though. You don't notice until you try to make the same thing at 2 different scales, but... Man, the larger you get, I feel like the more off you can be. Like, if I'm trying to make a tennis ball, for example... If I make it 200 by 200, that's really overly comically large. But if I make it that big, it's going to be less noticeable if I have a little bit of an error somewhere than if it's like a 10 by 10 or something. Or I guess I'll say 11 by 11 because a 1 block center is always better with a circle, I feel like, or sphere. Should give you this. Technically, okay, you want to bring each warp slab forward by 1. We're going to start with that. We want upside down warp slabs at the top, but there's a way that I want to do this differently. Because if you break this back center warp slab and replace it with a warp fence, and then bring that fence all the way up, it'll give you this almost like C shape or bracket shape for the warp slabs at the bottom. Yeah. You'll copy that at the top with upside down warp slabs, just kind of placing one on either side and then bringing both of them forward along with the fence forward with one. Cool. Oh, that looks strange. You want to, kind of on these sides, place warp trapdoors. If you just place off the side of the warp slabs, and it'll be open like that, but I'm not going to open it yet, because you can crouch and place just, what, 6 going up? And if you open all of them, it should give you some nice borders to this. You can also use shelves if you want. Again, they weren't out when I made this. Hopefully that was obvious, though. After the mentioning of Pale Oak not being out. I wonder what the next major block we're going to get is. Seeing as how the last update literally didn't have a single block. The more I think about that, the more upsetting it is. Literally, like, the biggest thing in Minecraft is blocks. Well, not... People would disagree, but as a builder, that's where I'm going to go with that. Is that all of them? Yes, it is. Cool. Starting from the bottom, you want to... It'll be the second trapdoor up. You're going to kind of just connect them together across with trapdoors at the top half of the block. Above that, you'll then have them at the bottom half to create these kind of borders. Not borders, but this, like, kind of thick line going across. Hopefully this should be apparent where we're going next with this, but I got no reason to rush it, so I'm not going to. Fun thing I like never remember with these is I can rush it all I want, but the part's still going to be 40 minutes. The length is not going to change. You'll then, next trapdoor, or next row up that you can, you'll place warp trapdoors at the top half, and then above that at the bottom half again. And that'll give you another vertical line going across. And the fences will... kind of blend with it to give you nice even spacing. It's definitely noticeable that the fence is back a block, but I mean, what do you want me to do? Like, it's not a lot of options there. But anyway, if you would like, you can place like trapdoors against the sides here. I wouldn't because of those warp slabs at the bottom and top, but you could technically remove those. You can play with it. There's a lot of things you could do. But anyway, a block behind this, I'm going to fill in each of the windows with black concrete. And then we'll do one more thing with this brick wall, and then we'll do the logo, because I'm not forgetting. And then after the logo, I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe there's one thing on the right side, and there's a couple random things that should be done around, including lights. It should give you this. A block above the bricks, you want to kind of go, I guess, up diagonally out with crimson slabs going around the full thing. You don't have to do the back since you can't see it anyway, but I would just go like back by a block on the sides since that'll be visible. Technically, with overhangs, it's weird because like you can see that it just ends. So you could always bring it back further and bring the bricks back as well. Because, yeah, I didn't actually think about that until now. I don't always check those kinds of things necessarily, but I've started to more recently. Anyway, you can then clear your inventory and let's do the logo. Get out smooth quartz blocks, diorite, purple blocks, and dark oak fence gates. That's all you'll need. And in the center, you can use the little statue here to help you. The center 3 blocks here, or the center 3 at the back, because you want to break them a block up in the oak there. You'll then break the next row up, breaking an additional 1 off either side to give you a row of 5. Sim again, which will give you a row of 7, and then you'll just break the next 2 rows above that to break through the rest of the oak and birch. Going left to right in each row, you want to start with 2 diorite and a smooth quartz for the first. Second, you'll do diorite, quartz, 2 diorite, quartz. Next, you'll do quartz, 2 diorite, 2 quartz, purple, quartz. Next row, you'll do quartz, purple, 2 quartz, purple, quartz, purple. Next row, you'll do purple, quartz, purple, quartz, purple, quartz, purple. That sounds so weird to say. The next row, you're going to leave a block off the left. So you'll start on top of this smooth quartz and place a purple. Right of it, 2 quartz, purple. Then a dark oak fence gate, and then another purple block. And then over top of that fence gate, you'll place 1 more purple, and that gives you your logo. Third different time, third different design. Love to see it, not actually. I don't like this. There's so much to do. Clear your inventory of the 4 materials you have and get out the following. Purple concrete. Light gray banners. Light gray carpet. Spruce stairs. Spruce trapdoors. Light gray concrete. Crimson trapdoors. Crimson signs. And dark oak fence, I guess. I don't know. To the right side of this kind of area, we're still going to be in front of it actually, where you have these 2 1 diagonals of polished sheepside, just kind of in front of them or between them, you'll place 2 purple concrete extending up. Light gray banner off the right of the top purple, and also a light gray carpet on top. This will be surrounded with dirt, but it is here. Back a little bit more, kind of in this corner going across, you're going to place an upside-down spruce stair facing right. Right of it, 2 spruce trapdoors, and then an upside-down stair facing left. Above each of these blocks, spruce trapdoor open backwards. To the right of this, a light gray concrete with a crimson trapdoor on top and also opened off the front. You'll place another one of these trash cans just to the right of the doorways here, so off of this birch plank. You want another one if you kind of head to the front of the rooted dirt, not on this very front one, but kind of back diagonally right off this one, you'll have a light gray with a crimson trapdoor open against the left this time and still one on top. From that trash can, you want to count to the 5th strip spruce left. Count back 1 and place 2 light gray concrete extending back with crimson signs off each side. I just realized I grabbed the wrong fence. I meant to grab dark oak, not acacia. I don't even know if we're going to use it yet, though. You'll then, from that, count to the 4th strip spruce behind the light gray. So 2nd, 3rd. 4th is here. Right 2. 2 light gray going back with the crimson signs around again. Do we need... No. So get rid of your purple concrete, light gray banner, and light gray carpet, and get out nether brick fence, blackstone slab, and diorite slab. And on this particular row of light gray, you'll place a nether brick fence on the back and a dark oak fence on the front. On top of the nether brick fence, a blackstone slab. On top of the dark oak, a diorite slab. I'll then get rid of those 3 materials we just got out, so the fence and the 2 slabs, along with actually the dark oak fence. And I'll get out lime concrete, gray carpet, and just for now dark oak sign, and I'll leave this spot open. In the back right-hand corner, I'll count forward 2 and left 1, lime concrete, back diagonally left another with gray carpet over either. This is a like Molly Macaw thing. Vending machine. Get out spruce planks and head forward kind of along this diagonal. Against the purple concrete in the front here, you'll place a spruce trapdoor open against it. I will place a spruce trapdoor underneath it, along with kind of bringing it back diagonally right 2 along the wall. I'll have a spruce trapdoor open against this plank here, and then the 2 kind of in the center, you'll just replace with spruce. You can, from this point, head over to the left side. I'm just trying to figure out exactly where, though. Heading to the left, we're going to kind of be in some open space here, so I'm going to take the... Is it this row of polished deep set? Is it in line with that? It is actually one to the left of this line, and if I trace forward, I'll just place a spruce plank randomly. You should be in line with, not the block that I am, but in line with the statues themselves. It's this block right here. You can see, again, line up with the statue, and 1 left of the polished deep set. And on this block, I'll place an upside-down spruce stair facing back. Behind it, 2 trapdoors, and then behind that, an upside-down stair facing forward. On top of each block, a spruce trapdoor open to the left, and then you'll have the dark oak signs kind of off of the trapdoor sides here to give you another bench. A couple more things to do on this side, and then we're going to add the lights, and then it'll just be a bunch of, hey, so maybe do this here. Get out the following. You want... Actually, we need to make a banner pattern, so if you get out a loom, an orange banner, and a singular white dye. In addition, for the actual building, you'll need orange concrete, chiseled quartz, and do we have enough for the lights? I don't think we do. We should, actually. Get out polished blackstone walls, diorite walls, sea lanterns, smooth quartz slabs, and we will also need white banners, but not worried about those yet. Place your loom on the floor, put in your orange banner and your white dye, and do the line... Actually... You could do 2 things. You could do the line through the middle with white, or alternatively, you could get out a white banner and 2 orange dye. And what I actually did is I have the white banner in with the orange dye, and I do the line across the top and bottom, which is chief fess and base fess. And that'll just give you a bit of a thicker white stripe, and I think that looks better. But it's up to you. Anyway, off of this cyan row, if you take this strip birch just to the kind of next to the opening you'd come in from, you'll take the behind that outer cyan, the 6th block. and place 2 orange concrete extending up with the banner off of each side of that top block. Cool. Since I actually have an open slot now, I can get out the white banners. Well, ironically, the white banners, since we just needed one for this pattern. But anyway, behind this bench, you can do 2 things. You can leave a gap of 4 and go back with 3 chiseled quartz, or you just take this back, or this kind of corner polish heap, say go forward diagonally, left 1 and forward 2. Either way, it puts it in the same spot. 2 chiseled quartz left of each with an additional 2 rows on top to give you a cube. And that's all of the block for block stuff, excluding lights. And again, there's a few rocks that I will give you the exact position for, just because I think they're more important if they're freestanding, you know. Anyway, for each of the lights, take the furthest left within the space, obviously the furthest left kind of cyan arch. And you'll take this cyan concrete and count to the 6 strip spruce behind. So this is 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Right 1, I'll place a polished blackstone wall just as a marker. I will, from the doorway at the back here, I'll be a block over. So on this birch, it will be the first one that isn't part of the trim. And I will take the 8th strip spruce in front. So this is already 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 8th is there. I think you're copying those positions on the other side. Yes, you would be. So the further out one is easier because you just take the 3rd rooted dirt, or 4th rooted dirt, and just place a wall to the left of it. And then the other one, still fairly easy. You just take this outer, this rightmost cyan, count back to these 6 spruce, and then left 1. And then there are 2 more, I think? Yes. The next cyan in, you're going to be in line with the innermost strip birch. And you will be on the 7th block back. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th. It's also in line with those walls there. If I, again, just take this inner one and go boink, it's in line with that one. Cool. Are each of these lights on? They are, yes. So if you need a refresher, I'll explain it once. Each polished blackstone wall you'll extend up by 3. Sea lantern on top, smooth quartz slab on top of that. The top polished blackstone wall I'll extend in each direction by 1, and place a diorite wall off of the top of each one. On the left and the right walls I'll place a white banner, just kind of hanging off of them like so. And you'll do that for each of the lights. Remember these, because these will just continue to exist. Although we'll have a bit of time without them. Since, again, we'll have a bunch of rooms that are inside. So this is the last you'll see of them until after the train. Which feels so far away. I can't even lie. That feels like a century away right now. Obviously, it won't be. If I finish PPT2 in a year, this will not be even close to that. Maybe half, if this takes longer than I'd expect. I think it will be decently long. There's a chance I split it up every, like, 10 to 15 parts, just to get a break for myself. Anyway, that should give you this. That is all of the, again, really specific things done. As for the texturing, I'm going to clear my inventory. I'm going to start with just andesite and granite slabs for a second here. There is a rock off of the right entrance that will be blocking it. So I'll just kind of have like a 2x2 directly behind, and I'll have another little square over, like so. Still not going to be specific, but more specific. To the left of the statue here, there is another andesite rock that's about 3 blocks wide, and it kind of goes diagonally up a little bit, like that maybe. There's another one from the left entrance, the pillar to the left of it, just a little bit behind it, another diagonal one that I'll actually make more like a cheese wedge. Like so. Don't ask about that one defying physics, I don't know. There are a bunch of patches of dirt, so again, if you want the dirt texturing, I use oak. Do I use oak slabs? No, I don't. Although there is an oak slab over there, so I just got trolled. I use spruce slabs. Mud brick slabs. Granite. Waxed exposed cut copper. And then coarse dirt. You can also use packed mud. You could use oak. You could use jungle. You could even use polished granite. There's a lot of blocks you can use. Other dirts, obviously, like rooted. And also, I actually have grass on these. Short grass, to be specific. Where you have in the center against the wall with the pillars, there's just like a kind of... I'm going to make it just out of fully spruce for a sec to kind of mark it. It's like this, basically, just a little area of dirt kind of off of these two birch panels that kind of goes around. And this is where I mentioned in the last part you don't have the bottom trapdoor. And again, you can mix and match however you so choose with your blocks. I'm not really thinking too hard. But I will replace some of these. Just because it looks dumb if I don't. And really on top of any coarse dirt that you can, you'll place short grass. Just to give it a little bit more literal greenery. There are 3 more patches of this. Although one is against a wall, kind of, that we don't have. Because it's one of the walls of just junk. There is one around this purple concrete thing we built earlier that I mentioned was covered partially. It's just kind of like in this area. Maybe like here. Just make sure you don't cover the bench. I don't know if I'd go that far. I might go to just here. Like that, kind of. And then I'll do you. And then again, I'll place the short grass on each coarse dirt. I can't on that one. That's a shame. The next 2 are actually pretty much exactly opposite. There is one that I'm going to put against this chiseled quartz here. Maybe I'll go like this or something. That's not a shape I want to make. Whoopsies. And then there's another one again, kind of just like shred in front of it. Make sure you almost use the orange concrete as a cutoff. Well, I have it going around the orange, actually. I can have it like this. But don't go any further to the right than that. Maybe I'll go like this or something. Who knows? Something like that. And then pretty much from this point, it's just a wall of fully stone and andesite. I'm going to actually do the show thing again instead of actually explaining it. So if I had, hey, look, it's me. You can kind of see, like, this is actually what the dirt would look like. And you can see it's just giant rock, tall rock. Like, it's just a bunch of rocks. And kind of I'm just going around the bench, connecting it to the quartz. I don't know what this is from. But it's just kind of making sure that you can't go over it or see over it. If you still, like, you can still do this, I guess, but you can just barrier that off if you're concerned about it. As you can see, I clearly was not. But, yeah, this is a common trend where it's just one-sided, because I don't really find making piles of junk and garbage and rubble very interesting, so, you will see that be the case a lot, but yeah. It is just a giant wall of stuff. And you can see I got some dragon eggs and just like some boxes and stuff kind of around the perimeter. If you want to copy the candles and things, then you can. But yeah. And then that's this area done. So I'm going to... We're not done with the part since we still have time. I'm going to start marking this hallway. Alright, so my goal is to get the entire hallway at least marked as far as the kind of spacing of it. We're going to leave the bathrooms alone. We'll mark them, but we won't actually lay them out. So get out the following to start here. You want birch planks, oak planks, oak slabs, gray concrete, and strip spruce wood. think that's a reasonable start. So from these doorways here on the right, I want to take the left one, and I'm going to kind of look back towards them and just to the inside. So off of this birch plank, I'm going to extend back with 4 birch, a gray concrete in the floor, 2 birch not in the floor, a gray concrete in the floor, and then an additional 6 birch planks. I will add a temporary marker here. Well, it's not actually a temporary marker, but a marker here with a birch plank inside. And then I will just continue from here back with an additional 18 birch planks. And then I'll smack another one inside of that end guy. Just like so. You can essentially copy... Well, actually, I guess don't copy that. If you take the left side, though, I'll give you the numbers. You want to start from this birch plank and extend back with 14 birch. Again, place your marker inside, and you should be in line there. And then you'll extend back an additional 4 with birch. And then I will go actually left by 14. Then forward by... What is that? Why can I not count right now? Forward by 6. Then right by 14. And then forward by an additional 8. And then I'll add right, or add a block to the right. And this will give you, that will give you this. Why can I not speak? For both of the spots where the birch planks are kind of peeling in, you're going to extend those birches up by 3. Up diagonally in 1. In by 3. Down diagonally in by 2. And they should connect when you do that. Like so. Those middle 3 birch will each bring down by whatever you need to make them at the same height down. Which the side ones will be 3 down and the center will be 2. Like so. At the right side here, this kind of opening, you'll extend these side birches, these corners, up by 3. And then you'll just go up diagonally in and connect them together. Do I want to fill in the floor? No, we'll save the floor for last. You can get out red nether bricks, though, because we will need them for the floor, and I just don't want to forget. On top of each birch plank here on these sides, you want to place 4 oak planks extending up. That does not include this kind of jump out here where the railroad ride is. That will stay as is. But make sure you bring the oak kind of on top of the birch for the arches and stuff. Just to kind of fill everything in. Including going across like here. Getting that little center shape in. And over top of these doorways, you will just leave them actually for now. I don't want to hit you with too much. Not that they're complicated, but you know. And that should give you this. Where those doorways are, you will take the second oak plank up, or the third block, and place an upside down oak slab over top, which is 2 more planks going up. From the sides here, in only this hallway, again, we're still ignoring that side, you'll place a row of upside down oak slabs on these sides. I'm just going to do the front section for now, because it'll be easier that way. You will then go up diagonally in with a row of oak planks. In with 2 rows of upside down oak slabs. This is again from both sides as well. Then in with a row of oak planks. Down diagonally in with a row of upside down oak slabs. And then you'll connect those together with planks in the dead center there. And you can just place some oak planks on the center birch. Again, same thing though, just the upside down slabs on the kind of sides against the top. Up diagonally in with a plank. In with 2 upside down slabs. In with a plank. Down diagonally in with an upside down slab, and then connect those together with more planks. And you'll fill that all the way back for this back section as well. I just wanted to instruct it a little bit quicker than that. And yeah. And we'll do the roof for the other part, and I think we'll get the frog lights in just for fun. And then from there, I'll explain how to fill in the floor, because there's one section that is not just strip spruce. And then we will call it a park there. Sounds like a fun plan. Should give you this. Cool. For the side, you can get out the ochre froglets that I briefly hinted at, and you will extend the sides up with just 3 rows of oak planks. You can, at the back, actually leave the center block open, though, for now. At least for the bottom 2. For the third one, you can fill across. Like so. You'll then kind of up diagonally in from the start here, place 4 oak planks extending back. Like so. Then an ochre froglight. Then 4 more planks. Ochre froglight. 3 more planks. And then if you fill in the back here with oak planks, just on top of the wall, you can actually place an ochre froglight in front of that center oak plank. Like so. And then the rest of the top center you'll fill in with upside down oak slabs. Cool. In this particular section, you want to, leaving a gap of 1 from both sides and a kind of a block down, you'll fill in the floor with red nether bricks, leaving 1 off of each side, which would include the back there. So kind of like here, as you can see. You're in line with the doorway, and then you would leave 1 off each side again, including there. Technically, you could leave 2, but that just makes you place more spruce. Which, speaking of, more of the same strip spruce with the 2 different directions. And as you can see, you can just place them in a diagonal like this, and it is very quick. And then I just go off of the diagonal on each side like so, and it's a grand old time. But yeah, and then just fill it in line with the doorway at the back, and we'll end up, probably next part, I guess, just filling that off. Yeah, also it is important to mention you should, at the top, kind of just cover up all these slabs to not let light through if you care about that. I think there's enough lighting in here anyway to where it won't make a huge difference, but you know. And yeah, if you do not want to, if you do not care for seeing the end here, that's all that I have to show. And then, yeah, next part we will hopefully finish this hallway, and then we can actually start to get to the railroad, which is exciting. Because, yeah, that'll be one of the sections for sure. I don't think it's going to be, like, insanely hard by any means. It's just, there are more interesting and more enjoyable to build than that, so, you know. It is going to be a bit of a grind, I think. Because of some of the rooms and the pathways and things, but I'll try to make it easy. And then we'll have more dirt piles and things, because why wouldn't we? I know the main room that I'm thinking about, well, there's 2 rooms that I'm thinking about are bad. The skunk room and the Molly McCaw one. Lloyd, I think, is clear, and Finley's are going to be block for block because they're actual terraforming. They're not rubble. So, that gets a pass from any sort of, really anything. But on that note, almost to the end here. I might as well just fill it all in, whatever. Let me know if you guys have any fun comments or anything about this map so far. Anything, any questions or anything? Honestly, to be 7 parts in here, it's not horrible progress. It definitely feels proportionately like not a lot, but I do think that this map is definitely a weird case because it's very much open areas and then enclosed areas, which obviously take very different amounts of time, and you will absolutely see that. Like these from this point on, it may be 1 room apart that we get finished at least, but kind of thinking about like not Baldy. Baldy's a bad example, but like Badham. Badham's a better example. But not a... really, once we get past the... Once we're at landing pad, I guess, that's when it'll be like, okay, yeah, we're pretty much there. But even then, like, there's still a lot from that point, so we got a long way to go. Anyway, once you've done that, ladies and gentlemen, that is part 7 of your Indigo Park Chapter 1 tutorial complete. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you guys did enjoy this video, have a fantastic rest of your day or night, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.